Terry.
Here's the first question for you.
What do you got?
Give us your breakdown of both quarterbacks, their strengths and the weaknesses.
Right off the bat.
Right off the bat, and who do you think has the advantage?
Hey, Ali, how's it going?
Okay, I'll start with the
You
last
guys have had
question.
a lot of continuity on this show all the way back since the
I will
first
go
season.
with
31 years.
Like, how
Mahomes
much
and the
longer do you
Chiefs.
see
They'll
all
have
this
the
coming,
advantage
like together with like the
because they've
same
won
crew?
them.
I think one of us is going to die on
And
the
they're
set.
going for history, and they're a pretty good football
Which
team
one?
that
Well,
things don't seem to bother them. You know, they can accept it. You
Enjoy it
know.
every year.
Joe Montana,
we
Terry
talk about it all the
Bradshaw,
time,
there's a bunch of us that tried to
how
three-peat.
much we enjoy
We
it.
never even got to the
I
Super
think
Bowl.
that he
He's
has
gotten
to
that
fly
far,
and
so
stay in hotels.
I would
The
give the
rest of it
advantage
we do.
just to him. Plus,
How do you like
I love
stay
their
so
offense,
young
you know.
looking?
I
Like,
love
I
their
feel like I
offense a
can
lot.
set my
You know,
watch.
my
to
wife
know
asks me that
appearance.
question all the
Hurts,
time.
on the other hand, is a
When
guy
do
that had a
you
little
do
bit of an up
What
and
do you
down
do?
year,
I
questionable
don't
early.
know. I'm not a big drinker.
I thought what Jayden did the last
I
game
guess some of it's genetics.
was really
You know, my
cool
dad
because
was
they'd only
bad.
averaged about 130 or 40 yards passing, you know, prior to that, and everybody was all over him, and he handled that pretty well. The threw for almost 260 yards, ran for 3, passed for 1, and I think that he needed that, and their team needed that for their passing coming into this game. Now you take it back a couple of years when they played one another. All right, he was phenomenal.
People who were in
Phenomenal.
you know, that Tampa Bay
And had they had not had the fumble return and the questionable pass interference holding at the end of the game, you know, it could maybe been a different story. He would have been the MVP. They could have gone in at halftime and been up by 3 scores. Whew, that's a big difference. But that quick touchdown, that was something. So I love them both. They're both excellent at what they do. The other guys just won Super Bowls and won 3 of them already. And so I just on experience and success rate, I just give them the edge. What you got?
Coordinators, obviously.
In Detroit? Oh, man. See, that was kind of like my hair look all right?
Fantastic.
That was we all thought that it was make or break. They built that team. They still built it. Their defense took a blow, but boy, when they got in the playoffs, we all said, man, they got to win it because this Johnson guy is going to be gone, and the other guy is going to. I can't think of the defensive coordinator, Aaron Glenn. He's going to be gone, and sure enough, they're all gone. So now you can have the same plays, okay? You can run the same offense, but great coordinators, it's when they use those plays and the formations that they use to dictate coverage. That's the specialty of an offensive coordinator. When you look at the 32 teams in the NFL, there are not that many great coordinators. There's a lot of coordinators, but there's not a lot of great ones. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I think you look at Denver and Sean Payton, who I think is one of the best in the world. Even, you know, you grow these kids, you build them up, you teach them, and they go somewhere else and hopefully turn into good coordinators. But boy, that hurt Detroit. Well, yeah, he's good enough. But once again, when you run a play, when you call a play, when you do a double reverse, you know, when you do all these things, that's where the coordinators are special. When you blitz, when you don't blitz, do you blitz here? Do you stack? Do you do things differently? It's like in these Super Bowl games, it's always something different. So what's going to be different? You know, Kansas City, when are they going to blitz? Are they going to fake blitz? Nothing drives a quarterback crazier than seeing everybody get up there tight. Now you know they're not all coming. So who's not coming? Is it a 4-man rush? Is it a 3-man rush? Is it 5 guys coming? You know, there are keys to all of that, and that's why a quarterback's got to really be sharp, and he's got to be coached well to know that they can't. When I set this formation this way, they can't blitz here. It's not strong. It's weak. It's a weak. You can't do that. You expose yourself, and the other side knows that. So if you do something that's not safe, you get burnt. So you got to be smart about it. That's why formations are so critical in today's game.
Terry, how long do you want to continue working for Fox?
I would like. It's funny you should ask me that, because I told my wife before I left the room a while ago. I was sitting there and I said I got 2 years left at Fox. I'm 76. Okay, so it's it's a young man's game. I get that. Everybody wants the new. Oh, that's not. That's Howie. I thought they said Gronk was sitting next
Behind
to
you.
Oh, behind. Well, that's where he'll always be. Is behind me. And so I said, if we can get to the next Super Bowl, I'll be 80. I think that's time. And that's 80 years old, and that's pushing it.
Terry, you got honored at Tulane University
I know.
the other day.
Yeah.
What's so
Why?
special about football? What's so special about football in Louisiana as a native?
Well, first of all, I'm a native.
Nowadays, you'll see a lot of analytics.
My first Super Bowl was here.
Like that. When you played, there really wasn't a lot of that.
And
they just were looking sacks.
this is a great football state. They talk about Texas, Florida, and California, Ohio maybe, but Louisiana is loaded with talent. And so I just think I'm gonna be honest with you, when they told me they were going to give me a day, my first thing, I told my wife Tammy, and I said, why are they doing that? So I tried to figure it out. Okay, it's the Super Bowl. They're just doing it. I had, I was, okay, why are they doing that? So I was, but it was a cool day. It was really cool. And of course, there were about 300 people there. These kids don't know who I am. So I used an old Trump line. I just said, oh my God, there's 150,000 people out there today.
Terry, people talk about your Steelers teams to this day.
Yeah.
It's a different era. You have the salary cap on and on. But
Right.
when you look at what the Chiefs have done with Mahomes and Kelsey and Andy Reid, how do they stack up to your Steelers teams?
The only difference in all of these teams today and the teams of the 70s is that we drafted our Super Bowl teams. Now they pick them, they build them through the draft, or at least they try to. They simulate some kind of a team, all right? Then they go, oh, Tyreek Hill's not happy. We're shipping his ass to Miami. But who are we going to replace him with? Oh, now we're Juju, Schuster, Smith, whoever. He's available. We'll pay him money. We'll bring them in. Okay, we need a running back. Oh, Art's got a broke leg. Okay. Oh yeah. All right, we got him. So now you can go out and get players. If they're free agents. Whereas in my day and time, you got drafted, you went nowhere unless you were cut. Or they traded you, you were stuck. And so the thing that I'm most proud of our 4 Super Bowls, it was the same team. Now there may have been
He's ready.
on offense, no changes, none. On defense, maybe 2. So that's pretty good. That's pretty good drafting. That's pretty good drafting. So that's the major difference. Really.
What are you thinking about what
Terry, you mentioned Sean Payton and Denver. So with him working with Bo Nix, what's Bo's ceiling after what he did this past year working with Sean?
I talked to Sean this morning, actually. He loves it. He's faster than he thought he was, stronger than he thought he was, bigger than he thought he was, got an arm strength bigger than he thought it was, poise. The key to all these quarterbacks, these young kids, is poise. Even when they're getting their ass knocked off. You look at Daniels in Washington. How cool was that kid? Getting his ass knocked off and boom, boom. So these young quarterbacks that are successful are with good coordinators, like the kid that's here, that's in Philadelphia is going to be the Saints head coach. Kellen Moore, Boise State guy, good offensive mind. So the thing that they had is Herbert had it, Mahomes had it when he got to play. Joe Burrow has it. Kid up in Buffalo has it. Josh. So they have that special thing where pressure doesn't bother them. And if you can be calm amongst the storm, then your brain can function. You can see things clearly. If you're in the panic mode, then you don't see anything. You see blur. And so all these young kids in Bo Nix, I knew that if Sean Payton, and I don't know Bo Nix, I remember him at Auburn. He was just, but I knew if Sean drafted him, Sean knew something about it. Sean knew he could coach this kid. So that when Sean drafted him, I went, oh boy, that's good. That's going to be good. And it sure enough was.
Hey Terry, I want to ask you about Mahomes. You had the chance to never